Hi gang, and welcome to Dinah Dares to Plan. My name's Dinah Dare and I am here to help you plan. I am applying the knowledge and skills that I have from project management for the last 8-9 years and applying them to the world of burlesque and cabaret. So today one of the big things that I personally struggle with all of the time is context switching. It murders me in my day job. It is a massive productivity killer. There's so many research and studies being done that context switching really does sort of negatively impact you in quite a lot of ways that you're potentially not aware of. And in burlesque, we are our own promoters, bookers, admin, costumers, choreographers, photographers, drivers, planners, makeup artists, hair artists, wig stylists. We do everything. Everything. We are busy people. And the context switching that's going on there when you're having to put on your performer hat, your admin hat, your budgeting hat, you're context switching and going into different mindsets. Whether or not you realise that's what you're doing is what you're doing. This kind of stuff is how we end up mentally exhausted. I've been there, especially when you add a day job on top of that, which so many of us have. It's exhausting. We can end up with fatigue, you end up with brain fog and really kind of struggle to be able to think straight and get things done. Research suggests that simultaneously working on 2 tasks can reduce productivity by 20%. This increases to 40% when you're working on 3 tasks. So if you're switching between doing 3 different things at the one time, your productivity sinks and your brain is just going to go, nah. Or at least mine does. And it just kind of gives up the ghost, to be honest. And that's not to mention how much it correlates with making errors as well. Have you ever sent an email for a casting and realised that you forgot to put the attachment with all your details on it because you were in an airport? I have. Shouldn't have been doing it then. But I was like, oh, I've got time to kill. I'll just respond to some castings while I'm also keeping an eye out on what gate the plane's coming at and keeping an eye on my staff. And my attention was split always and every ways. I am not surprised I made a mistake, to be honest. And that's the kind of stuff that can catch you out. So, how do we reduce context switching? How do we manage it as much as we can? One of the main things we can do is make a prioritised list. What are all the things that we need to do in priority order? And if you need to share it with someone else, make them keep you accountable for actually doing it in the order you said you would do it in. And tackle the things that need to be done first, because if you're spending your time and your effort doing those things that are highest on your priority, by the time you get to the lowest stuff, or if it gets pushed back, it's okay because those are kind of lower priorities. But if you need to get your invoices sent or you need to rhinestone something and you're trying to do both at the same time, you're going to make a mistake. So make that time to just sit, do your invoices, get them all done. That's your priority list. The other thing that goes quite nicely with this is time blockers and timers. I actually saw someone use timers really interestingly on an Instagram story not that long ago where they were rhinestoning things and they get bored. So they had timed that they would do, they'd set alarms and they would do their gloves for 20 minutes and then they would move on to something else. Yes, technically it's context switching, but not really because they're rhinestoning. They're just picking different bits of their costume to rhinestone to keep them going. Time blocks is kind of what I was saying there about, don't do it in an airport. Put that aside actual time for you to do the work you need to do. So for me, Sunday afternoons are kind of admin days and content editing. I put aside specific time for making these videos as well. There's specific times I have a few hours blocked out. This is when I will do it on this day. And it just allows me to not be switching between doing numerous things at the same time because I'm not also my content, all the notes are written before I'm actually doing it instead of doing it at the same time. I'm also not working at the same time, or I'm not thinking about the fact that I need to rush because I need to go to the gym, or there's just so many ways that you can reduce the mental load if you just have a bit of a schedule. Take breaks. This is something we are all terrible at, and I don't just mean take away 10 minutes away from what it is you're doing. I mean literally take a break. Relax. don't do anything. I might as well be speaking to a mirror at this point because I need to hear these things. I know that for a lot of us, we're not very good at sitting still. We need to be busy. We are busy, we're busy people, but rest is so important to our mental loads. And if we can take that rest and we're not switching between things all the time, it'll help a lot as well. The last one I'm going to say is be intentional with your time. If you're not in the headspace to do something, don't try and force yourself to do it. What can you do in that time that you are right? Sometimes I'll have a schedule and I have to throw it out the window because do you know what? My brain wants to create. And I just have to maximise on that at that time. And then I move the thing that I'm going to work in, was supposed to be working on, out to another time where I feel like, right, I'll maybe be more focused to do it at that point. Being intentional with your time and your energy usage will mean that you are not forcing yourself to do things, but also you're potentially not having to switch between doing numerous things at the same time, because you've given yourself, right, in this time I am going to do this for half an hour, and it allows you to get yourself into the mindset that you need to be in order to do it as well. Context switching is something I personally deal with literally every day. My day job is insane for it. You add in the fact that my brain likes to go on little walks around like burlesque route every now and then. It's even harder for me to focus sometimes. But I do feel that having implemented some of these things in my life, I've genuinely seen a bit of a difference. So hopefully some of it will help you. If you got any tips or tricks on how to reduce context switching, I would genuinely love to hear them. Please share them below. If you have any comments, queries, questions, thoughts or feelings, also pop them below. I am here to help as much as I can. And thank you so much for hanging out with me guys today. I will see you next time. Bye.